At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. I'm getting kind of things getting going here this morning. How you doing this morning? I hope you're doing a great, having a great start to your Thursday. Hey, check this out. I went out and shot my NorCal Ag segment yesterday out at Wooten's Queens and Bees. I was out there risking my life. Okay, maybe not necessarily my life, but the pain possibly of getting a bee sting. They were kind enough to give me that hat and then, of course, wear that net over me. This is certainly nothing official to use, but it was nice to have that. It certainly felt a lot better having that on. So be sure to stick around for that later on in the show. We're going to be, of course, getting out there to the Wooten's Queens and Bees apiary. Yes, that is a term that I learned, and of course you're going to learn about as well. So be sure to check that out. Take a look at some of these photos that some of you sent. View from Weed. This is courtesy of John Purvis. Wow, what a beautiful shot. Thank you, John, for sending in that image here. This is a shot from Wairika, Mount Shasta's neighbor, which of course is Black Butte Summit there. This is from the rest area actually out in Wairika. Thank you, David, for sending in that image. You can see some of the clouds and of course a lot of snow out on top of the mountain there. There's a look at Happy Valley. Beautiful sunset. I believe it's a sunset. Looks like Jeff Johnson sent in that image here from Happy Valley. Thank you, Jeff, for sending in that image. And take a look at this. Sandy sent this from, I believe this is from her location overlooking by a few hundred feet the town or the city of Alturas. So if you want to send in your photos, it's very easy. In fact, if we have time, and if you're interested, we can kind of maybe go over a little bit of some of the app features. But you can share your photos with the free Weather NorCal app on your iPhone, your Android. Just search for Weather NorCal from your app store, download the app for free, and you can share your photos. Let's take a look at those current temperatures out there right now. You can see temperatures in the upper 40s for Redding. A bit of a breeze out there. That's what's keeping those temperatures up. Temperatures a bit cooler with a smaller breeze. I think it's about 41 degrees for Red Bluff and Chico, and we've got those 30s for most of us in the higher elevations, although quite chilly in Alturas and Chester in the upper 20s, as well as Wairika. You can see 30 for Mount Shasta City, 36 in Crescent City, and 34 right now in Eureka. Take a look at the visibility. The weather station in Oroville is down right now, so of course that's why there's some weird number up there. But there you can see a quarter-mile visibility for Weaverville and Hayfork out in the Trinity County area. So it looks like we are seeing some patchy fog out there. Now the reason we're not seeing the widespread fog, especially in the valley, is because of the winds. The winds are blowing enough to really kind of keep that fog from really developing. But take a look at this. This is Highway 70 at Gridley Road. And yeah, this is between basically Oroville and Gridley. So the fog has developed in some areas. So especially if you live in a wind-sheltered area, just be prepared for the fact that you may be dealing with some of that fog out there. Let's see what it looks like right now out in downtown Chico, Main Street. It looks pretty good there. I'm not seeing any fog there. Looks like we've got those clear skies out there this morning. This is the clearing skies that we're seeing on Highway 99 at Neal Road. Looks like traffic is flowing smoothly. So there are the winds right now. Now notice the winds are stronger in Redding at about 10 miles per hour. Again, that's enough to kind of keep any fog from developing. And not to mention, of course, the 5 miles per hour in Red Bluff, Chico, and Willows. So those winds will continue to probably pick up here as we take you into, well, the afternoon and evening hours here. You know, the winds are going to probably be strongest, and we'll take a look at that here right now, what those winds are doing as we go through the afternoon. So again, the winds picking up through the morning, and by noon, early afternoon, the winds are blowing from the north. Now notice it's mainly in the valley. I think the winds will be strongest in the valley. But we'll be looking at gusts upwards of around 25, maybe 30 miles per hour. But sustained winds, 10 to 20, and maybe a little bit higher than that in some locations, and a little breezy even for the coast as well. But elsewhere, not that bad, even in the mountains. Then we go into Friday. Friday, you want to talk about a gorgeous day. It's going to be Friday. I mean, you're talking sunny skies, calm winds, even for the valley. And then the winds will start to pick up for the coast as the next storm system approaches. So gusty winds to start off Saturday morning on the coast. And then the winds overall shift more from the south as we go into Saturday. That's because that's going to be in advance of the storm system that is approaching on Saturday, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But chain requirements, still some chain requirements on Highway 36 east of I-5. No other chain requirements to speak of. Things are looking pretty good. Still some closures and still some chain requirements on the west side of Lake Tahoe, right? But otherwise, I mean, conditions are much better on those mountain highways. All right, so let's take a look at some of those cameras out there right now. There you can see, you know, if you drive for a living and need to see what the roads look like every day and kind of drive in the surrounding area, here's a great place to start on Coffee with Krueger. We'll kind of go over some of these roads and what they look like, and they look okay. Snowman Summit looks like, for the most part, it's looking pretty clear. Maybe a little wet on the road, but don't see any ice or snow on there. There you can see Highway 97. This is northeast between Weed and Doris. Grass Lake, Mount Hebron, still a little dark, not the latest image there coming in from Doris. Of course, you know that some of these only update every hour. There you can see Collier Tunnel on Highway 199. Looks like we're all clear there. Of course, you still see plenty of snow on the side of the road. But of course, Caltrans doing a great job keeping it clear. Here's Highway 299 West. Gorgeous. Look at some of the fog that we're seeing. Look at that in Berry Summit. Look at there, kind of in the upper left portion of that image in Berry Summit. Ooh, yeah, this is the latest image that just came in. That fog is kind of creeping up. So in those mountain valleys that are wind sheltered, you want to talk about some dense fog that we're seeing out there this morning. That's what we're dealing with this morning, especially in Trinity County. So again, if you're kind of in a low-lying area or going to a low-lying area in some of those mountain valleys, be prepared for some very dense fog. Cedar Pass, no chain requirements, at least based on the latest coming in from Caltrans, but you can still see some slush on and ice on the road there. So take it easy if you're heading out to Cedar Pass, but Hatchet Mountain, just a little wet. Not to mention Highway 299, Four Corners. That's 299 and 89. There's Lassen Park. That's the north entrance, of course, on Highway 44. Looks a little slushy there. You can see Shingletown looks dry. Bogard Ranger Station looks cleared out as well at 5,600 feet. And of course, we take a look now at Highway 36. Now, this is where we are seeing some chain requirements over some of the higher mountain passes. So you can see Chester, okay, at 4,500 feet. All right, so let's take you off to the east now. And looks like everything's okay there too. There's southeast Susanville at about 4,200 feet. Looks like the roads are pretty dry there as well. Take a look at this, the amount of rainfall that we've seen. You know, yesterday we saw a little bit of shower activity. There are a few thunderstorms in some areas here. But yesterday was kind of that transition day I was talking about, right? From the wet and cool conditions. And today, no more transition. We're done with the transition. We're going to dry and warmer. But take a look how much rain we've seen over the last 3 days. And this is to kind of help you, give you kind of that peace of mind to enjoy some beautiful weather and drier weather over the next few days. I mean, we saw almost 3 inches of rain in Redway the last 3 days. But look at Redding, 1.8. And this was the trend that we were seeing, that the bulk of the rain was going to be at the north end of the valley, but not as much heading to the south. Even the east side of the valley did get to see a little bit more rainfall, especially heading into the foothills. But otherwise, Chico, not even quite a quarter of an inch, and about 1,500 to about 2/10 for Corning, and out towards Red Bluff and Oroville, not to mention about 1/10. But again, heavier rainfall off towards the west. So how are we doing for the season? Well, can't complain here either. Again, this is another reason why it's okay to enjoy this beautiful weather. We're over 100% for the season in Redding. Although we did, because of that lack of rain over the last few days in the central part of the valley, we didn't see as much rain. So as a result, we did actually drop a little bit below normal. But we're still got a good reserve there, because you can see for Eureka, 129%. Much better than we were last year at this time. And take a look at Crescent City. 60 inches of rain over the last 3 days. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. The last 3 days, holy cow. Noah's Ark, right? No, that's for the season. Normal is 40.87. So that puts it almost at 150% so far for the season. Of course, there's Mount Shasta, 125%, doing better than we were last year at this point. We take a look at Montague. Now, Montague typically does see less rain. We head up to the north end of Siskiyou County. We don't typically see as much rain up there. But here you can see Alturas, 116%, almost where we were last year at this point, which was 118%. And just for fun, we take a look at that snowpack. And yeah, here's the reserves that we have. So even if we are even just a little bit below normal for the season rainfall down in the valley, look at the Sierra. That is looking good. 103%. Your April 1st average, 112% normal to date. Now we are below 100% for the April 1st average for the central and southern Sierra, but the central Sierra normal to date is about 103%, and normal to date for the southern Sierra is 93%. So we look at the statewide average, you can say, 100%. It's looking really good. I mean, how many times can we say that? Of course, we could say that last year, right? But think about the years past, right? This is great. And of course, we look at the lake levels. Historical average, over 100% for every lake known to man. Okay, that's not the case. But Shasta, Trinity, and Oroville, I mean, it's awesome. Absolutely loving this. Now, of course, we were talking about that fog that we are seeing, yeah, and even out at Lake Oroville. You can't even see the lake. It's just like this fog. Yeah, okay, there you can see the lake there as you kind of get a little bit farther away. But yeah, the visibility is quite low in some areas of those wind-sheltered areas. So here is a look at your Trinity County planner. We've got sunny skies here for today. Temperatures upper 40s and low 50s. Your North Coast planner, including the coast and inland, the coast at the bottom there at low 50s, sunny skies. Sunny skies inland, of course, keep in mind there is going to be some of that patchy fog even for the inland areas as well. How about Siskiyou County? Temperatures in the mid 40s, plenty of sunshine there. Could see some patchy fog in the valleys. Modoc County, there's temperatures in the mid 30s for Cedarville. Still quite chilly, but I do anticipate to see, of course, those mainly clear skies. Got the clouds there. Should probably looking at mostly sunny. Take a look at the eastern mountains here. Temperatures in the mid 40s for Susanville and Bernie, but Paradise on the foothills, you're sitting at about 57 degrees. And there is your planner for the valley. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. Temperatures in the low 60s for your daytime highs. It's looking pretty good. All right, folks. All right, we got started. We got a good start here. So 3,600 foot elevation, Casey. Of course, your daily report. Thank you. Let's get focused. Let's get focused here. 5,600 7-inch of rain in the last 24 hours. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Yes, I'm brave for going to the apiary. When I was driving up, it wasn't that bad, but they were getting more and more active the longer I spent there. And it's funny. One of the things that he told me about this, we'll take a picture of me again in the apiary so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. It was fun, but it's scary. And listen, how many people are bee people? How many people love having bees land on them? Nobody does. I mean, so it was not a lot of fun. I mean, it was fun, but having bees kind of buzzing around your head and landing on you, it's a little unnerving. Let's just put it that way. But just great company. Robert's a great guy, and of course, just having a chance to speak with the owners, they're really awesome over there. But yeah, I mean, here you go. Take a look at that. That's what I was doing here. But what's interesting, of course, you can see if you look closely, you can see people working back there. Those are all of the bees back in those white boxes. But what's interesting is Robert was telling me is that they haven't been flying out for a while. They've been kind of dormant apparently. And so now that they're out and about, they're able to relieve themselves. And for, lack of a better term, they were able to poop more. And let me tell you something. They release a lot of that stuff. And you'd be surprised at how much they do. My car, I need to get it washed because it's filled with it's got poop all over it. It's got bee poop all over it. So that was one thing. But yeah, obviously. And Robert was kind of showing me something with the bees, and he got stung in the process. Brave guy. And he did one of those like it hurt a little bit. But he was he was able to kind of flick off the stinger, which he was talking about the hearts. I guess they have 4 hearts. And so that was interesting. It's a lot of great. The thing is, I did the report, and we're going to be showing you the ag report here shortly. There's so much to cover. I mean, it feels like you should have a textbook this big to talk about bees, because even after the interview with him, I learned so much more. So this is going to be one of those ag reports that's going to be kind of ongoing. Like we're going to have to keep going back over the year for all the different phases and parts of the season. So kind of interesting to kind of see what they do over there. Great people, great honey. Yeah, I haven't had the honey yet, but I'm sure it's great, and I'm sure I'll get to try it. Good morning from Nick. Good morning. Clear and cool in Red Bluff. Have a nice day. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, everybody, for your morning greetings. Fog in Orville. Yes, of course, we saw that fog. We'll take another look at that. I have it down here. There it is. You can see the fog coming on in. Yeah, that's Lake Orville, North Forebay. It is a foggy, foggy, foggy. And, you know, we got some other cameras, too, to show you here. This was on Highway 70 between Gridley and Orville. That fog is coming down. Is the fog coming down? Well, it's foggy. So, and the thing is the wind is blowing elsewhere, and that's the reason. And this is something I was talking about really the last few days. Because we've had so much rain and the ground is so saturated for all that rain that we've seen, it doesn't take much for us to see that fog when you've got the clear skies and calm winds. The thing is, we've got the clear skies, but many of us don't have the calm winds, with the exception of Gridley Road here on Highway 70, or Highway 70 at Gridley Road. And of course in Orville as well. With those calmer winds, it's not scouring out the fog, and as a result, you see the fog. Foggy in Weaverville, I am not surprised about that. Again, the mountain valleys, the inland valleys, sheltered by those winds, cooler air sinking down, very easy for you to see that fog. And the saturated ground, it's so easy for us to see fog now. But again, all you have to do is get a little bit of a wind and it scours it out. Drier and warmer, that's right. Everyone's excited about that. Good morning from Chester. Yes, I bet it's chilly in Chester. I think it was down to the upper 20s in Chester this morning. Good morning from Paradise. Paradise indeed. Good morning, Rebecca. Morning from cold, foggy Lewiston. Lewiston, probably looking a little foggy out there as well. I'd love to get a camera in Lewiston. That'd be fun. By the way, folks, I've talked about cameras before, and still kind of ironing out the details and on the best way to do that. So hopefully, as we go into the summer months, I'll have the opportunity to get out there and put more cameras up. Good morning from Crispy MacArthur. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's pretty chilly up there. Debbie, thank you for sending in your report there. Good morning, Mike. Clear in Palisadro. Yes, probably clear skies. Probably not even looking at the fog. I see sun in West Reading. Yes, yay. But, I'm looking outside, and I can see, you want to see me looking outside? There I am. Clear skies. But my neighbor's flag across the street flapping in the wind. And that's the reason why we're not seeing the fog. And, of course, that's just a saving grace. Fog is not a good thing. It's just dangerous, low visibility. Nobody likes to drive in that fog. So no bueno when it comes to that fog. Okay, so without further ado, of course, I showed you that picture. We'll take another picture of me out here. I'm just having fun with this one. It really was fun. And I'm surprised at how well I did with the bees and everything. But it was fun. I really enjoyed hanging out with them. But check this out. This is our NorCal Ag segment, sponsored by Lassen Canyon Nursery. Hello everyone, I am Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal, and this is NorCal Ag, brought to you by Lassen Canyon Nursery. We are out at Robert and Amanda's bee farm. It's Wooten Queens and Bees, correct, right? That's the name of your business, if you will. Correct. This is, layman term, a bee farm, but there's an actual name for what this is all called, right? Apiary. Apiary. Yeah. Remember that. Look that up in the dictionary. Apiary. Do they still have dictionaries? You got to go to dictionary.com, probably. Google. Yeah, we'll Google. Oh, Google. Yeah. All right. So, what it is? First of all, how did you get into this business?
Born and raised into it. My parents bought bees from my grandparents, and then came later. I decided I would like to run bees, so then I bought my parents' business from them. And
they didn't just give it to you? Come on.
No, I said purchase. I worked for my parents growing up, and then I like to work on vehicles and do a lot of metal fabrication in the shop, so keep up with all their equipment. And so then I decided I would better take on the bee farm itself and still give Dad more time to play with his cattle.
All right. And yeah, we got, I mean, a little bit of everything out here, but bees obviously is the main focus. So what's going on behind us right now? What are they doing?
Okay, so we're queen breeders. So we raise we have our genetics we're pulling from and making queen cells. We raise our virgins. So they're creating the starters, what we call them, where we transfer into the queen cell cup, and then we put it in those boxes, and then they're in there for 2 days, and then they'll transfer into the cell builders, and then they'll finish the queen cell, and then there'll be a virgin inside. Then we will create boxes that are ready for them and put the queen cell in it.
And this is this the beginning phase of the whole process?
This is
bees.
You guys are catching the very beginning of everything right here.
Okay, so this is the very beginning.
Yep.
So from here, what happens? What's the process from here?
Then when we do get the boxes ready for making for the queen cell, they'll be scattered out in other apiaries or bee yards, and then we'll come back if the weather permitting, usually about 70 degrees with no high wind days. A breeze is okay, and not too many clouds. Like if it's a partly cloudy, sunny day, sometimes they won't fly out and mate because everything's out in the air.
Okay.
So then the virgins will fly out and mate with the drone and come back to that hive, and then we'll check on them usually about 14 days. You could say harvest the virgin. Now she's a queen, make sure she's laying on the frame, and then we'll cage it and ship it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so quite a process. And then, of course, then there's the whole process. That was the hair, and you said to get them out of your hair.
Yeah, you're all right. Just don't move out of it.
Bees. We all like bees. Well, who is the queen? Your wife.
Yeah, well,
all right, I was going to say. That's the answer. Your wife is the queen. Well, I certainly appreciate you allowing me to come to your apiary. I'm learning things here and kind of telling us more about this. We're going to definitely come out here later at a later time and learn about, the honey. That's the part that people really like too as well. So I've learned about bees, and I have I heard something go by my ear.
Yep.
So we're just going to wrap it up now before anybody gets stung here. So we will see you next time for another NorCal Ag. All right, so that was a lot of fun, as you could see here. Robert, great guy, good sense of humor, and he was very, very helpful in kind of getting me some information and kind of teaching me about what's going on. Like I said, there was so much; it was overwhelming. I felt like I was in a in a college course that I thought, no, I'm gonna have to bow out because I just don't know if I can handle it. I was just overloaded with all the information. So after we did the interview, and then we talked about a few more things, I said, I want to redo the interview because there's so much more I want to ask you. But then if I did that, we'd be doing like a 20-minute segment. So again, this is one of those we're gonna have to kind of spread it out over the coming months. And just kind of keep coming back as we kind of go into different processes. Maybe when they get the bees ready to ship, who knows? I don't know. But there's all kinds of stuff that they can do. And what's kind of interesting, you saw some of that close-up footage of the bees. Yeah, that's all I had on me was that net over my head. I still had my exposed hands. It was kind of scary. And it was getting shaky, the video, because there was a certain point where the bees were starting to really get more comfortable with getting on me and him, and he's like, all right, it's time for us to go. So I'm glad that I was able to get some of that footage for you. And another interesting note is he was spraying with that thing. I said, oh, what are you spraying afterwards? And he goes, I'm not spraying anything. And I'm like, wait, what? So I guess he was phantom spraying because I'm assuming that they can see that and from memory know that, oh, that's the smoke, so let's just kind of get out of here. So that just bought us enough time for him to show me when he lifted up the lid there, all the bees in there. So it was, it definitely had its moments where you're like, what am I doing here with all the bees flying around? But I did not get stung. Thank goodness. No close calls. There was one that was kind of buzzing on my ear on the net, and he got it off, I think, before maybe it could have stung my ear. So thank goodness for that. But that was fun. So yeah, that was your NorCal Ag segment brought to you by Lassen Canyon Nursery. And of course, want to thank them for their sponsorship. It wouldn't be possible for us to do NorCal Ag. So be sure to give Lassen Canyon Nursery a shout out and a big thank you if they happen to see the owner or anybody who's associated with Lassen Canyon Nursery. Well, it is 6:54, and let's see if there's any I'm reading the comments now. No bee beard for you? Absolutely not. No. That's a big no. I think I saw an image. I wish I had taken some from their website. You know, maybe I could pull it up. Let me see if I can pull up their website. And I think there was a shot of him. Why am I blanking here? Here we go. Let me see if there was a shot of him. I'm going to check the website here real quickly to see if there's a shot of him with the bees on his face. I don't think he did. Queens and bees. No, you know what? I might be confusing that with. And I just didn't have time when I got the email with some of the photos. I just didn't have time to kind of get everything in place. So maybe we'll share those later. All right. But for now, we are going to get ready to just kind of get in your forecast. I'm going to get up to the weather wall. We're going to take a look at the weather in more detail and get you through the day. But of course, before we do that, I've got to mention our sponsor, our Coffee with Krueger sponsor. Of course, made possible by Wind River, because at Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. All right, so thank you, Wind River, for your sponsorship. Let's take a look at those temperatures out there right now. And, you know, the winds are blowing a little bit stronger in Redding than elsewhere in the valley, which is why it's a little bit warmer there. All right, so not only does that wind prevent the fog from developing, but it also kind of scours out any of the colder air as well and prevents you from cooling off as much. So as a result, you got 48 for Redding, right? But the winds are not blowing as strong to the south, still strong enough to keep the fog from developing in most cases, right? But, for example, you saw how foggy it is, the dense fog in Oroville and around Gridley too. But elsewhere, looking at temperatures in the low 40s. Now, we do have a lot of the patchy, dense fog in many of the mountain valleys and inland valleys as well. Of course, we got that report out in Weaverville about the fog there. And we saw some of the cameras from Caltrans even heading out towards Berry Summit, kind of getting down into those valleys again, showing some of that very dense fog. 33 for Weaverville. So again, if you got that morning commute anywhere in the mountain valleys, be prepared for getting in that quick fog. And you might get some beautiful views as you might be clear above you, right? You're above the fog and then kind of looking down. That's always nice. I always love to see that. 33 for Weaverville, 31 right now in Hayfork, 35 for Eureka. There you can see Alturas right now, a temperature of about 30 degrees. All right, let's take a look at what we got going on with those headlines. And you bet we've got drier and warmer conditions in the forecast here through Friday. So today and tomorrow. In fact, I think tomorrow will be the best day because the winds will finally die down even for the valley. But wet weather returns this weekend. I'm not expecting any major storms, but the off and on wet weather will continue for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So we're going to go into another little bit of a wet period, but it won't be as bad as what we experienced. But we are going to see some decent rain out of those 4 days. But after that, getting more and more confidence in a big warm-up by the middle and especially the end of next week into that next weekend. And we're going to take a look at that in a little bit more detail here in a second. I want to show you what's going on right now. See this area of low pressure spinning over Southern California, making its way into Arizona. That's the same area of low pressure that impacted our weather the last few days, giving us the rain and, of course, the cool conditions. Now what's happening is we've got the jet stream doing a little something like this. And that jet stream is right on top of Northern California. And as a result, that's what's giving us some of those gusty winds at times later on today. This right here, in a smaller scale, is kind of our nightmare type of setup in the middle of the summer, right? Because when you have high pressure like this, and you've got those that were on the east side of that high pressure, you have that high pressure, hot, dry air, right? I'm talking about a scenario in the summer. And then when you see, of course, those strong north winds, that dries things out even more. Now, we're not going to be looking at hot, dry conditions with this, but this is kind of that same type of setup where we are looking at the jet stream right on top of us, and that's the upper level of support for some of those gusty winds that we'll see at times throughout the day, in particular for the valley. And even along the coast, I think those winds will be a little breezy as well, but not as bad for the mountains. That shifts eastward, and by Friday, now the winds are off toward east. We're looking at calmer winds, warmer temperatures. Now, here's what's interesting. We take a look at this right here, a nice deep trough of low pressure. This would certainly have some good rainfall kind of in this area right here. But because we have this ridge of high pressure right here, what's happening is this energy is being pushed up to the north, right? So what's happening is we're just not seeing as much rainfall out of this system. And I'm expecting that as it kind of pushes through, yes, I think we'll see some decent rain for the coast, but it will most likely fizzle and break apart as it moves over the coastal range and into the valley. Still a chance for showers in the forecast for Saturday, but I'm expecting most of the rain on Saturday, in the morning in particular, for the coast. Then we take you into Sunday, and now the ridge of high pressure is kind of pushed off to the east. The trough of low pressure with Sunday's system is deeper. So I think we're going to see a better chance for rainfall for everyone. Snow level is still fairly high, though, around 4,000 feet. Now, if you look closely, you'll see that we just kind of have this little disturbance kind of passing through. This will be kind of a Monday, Tuesday setup and bring us a chance for rain both of those days. Not a lot. You can see the bulk of that energy is up to our north. It's not going to be as bad for us, but we still have that chance for showers in there for Monday, Tuesday. But if you look over here, we're just beginning to see the developing phases or beginning phases of this ridge of high pressure really building and getting stronger. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It just continues to build and build and build, which means warmer and warmer temperatures. Now, as of right now, looking at the long-range outlook, mid to upper 70s in the valley. That, quite honestly, if you ask me, might be on the conservative side. We could possibly see some low 80s in there. In the mountains, low to mid 60s. And for the coast, mid to upper 60s for those daytime highs. So this is a pretty strong ridge of high pressure. I've seen some comments, well, you don't let that fool you. You know, this is going to be, summer fooling us. Spring fooling us. Kind of a false spring. And we could certainly look at this setup and go, yeah, that's probably going to be the case, because typically we get another round of some cooler and wet air as well. However, looking as far out as these models go, I'm not seeing much rain heading our way. Now, that's going to change most likely, but this is something that's worth watching. But this is something I kind of touched on a couple of days ago, saying possibly happening, but now there's a lot more confidence because all the forecast models are indicating this. And we look at the Storm Prediction Center, the Climate Prediction Center. There you can see the oranges here. The deeper the orange and red, the better the chances of seeing above normal temperatures. So what's happening here? It's looking pretty good. And of course, near normal off to our east. Let's take a look at Futurecast. And gorgeous, right? We take you into your Thursday this afternoon, plenty of sunshine. Now notice as we go into Friday, sunny skies to start off the day, these clouds will move in advance of Saturday's system. But look at this cold front. See how it kind of develops? This is kind of that setup that we see a lot sometimes is the main storm system's up to our north. We get the tail end of the cold front, so the coast tends to see a decent amount of rainfall out of it, and then it heads over the coastal range. And you can see by 6 a.m. Saturday, see how it's breaking apart, not as strong. And then by the time it gets to the valley, it pretty much fizzles out entirely. Now, I'm still keeping the chance for showers in there because, we'll just kind of have to wait and see. Because as we go into Saturday afternoon, maybe some developing showers. But behind that, we got some more activity coming in for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But off and on. It's not going to be just rain all day long like we saw a couple of days ago out towards parts of Northern California, in particular north end of the valley and even parts of the coast as well. But the winds, that's another thing we need to talk about because, so let's talk about the gusty winds. These are sustained winds, say 15, 25 miles per hour, 10 to 20 miles per hour, depending on where you are. But we can see gusts kind of approach that 30 mile an hour range. You'll notice it's not as strong for the coast, but still a little breezy there. But look at the mountains. It's not that bad in the mountains at all. And if we don't really see those winds pick up in many of the mountain areas, that fog that we're seeing for some of those mountain valleys, like Weaverville, for example, it may have a hard time clearing out. The angle of the sun is getting a little bit higher. It may be able to burn off based on the sun, but the winds may not help scouring out some of that fog. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that fog today for some of those mountain valleys. Then we go into Friday. At noon, the winds finally died down. I think this is going to be that day where if you ever think about playing hooky from work, you want to go for a nice hike, right here, Friday. I can't play hooky from work because I'm playing hooky for myself, right? Because I'm the boss. So I can't fool myself, although could I? I don't know, we'll see. But If you don't see me doing any forecasts on Friday, I guess I fooled myself, right? But most likely you'll see those forecasts on Friday. Here we go on Saturday. Of course, those winds shifting more from the south. This is in advance of the next storm system that is going to be approaching on Saturday. So here's the overall setup for today. There's that ridge of high pressure I was talking about. There's the upper level support for the winds coming in from the north. Now the main winds will be, or the strongest winds will be in the valley, and of course not as strong, but even out there along the coast as well. A little breezy there. Friday, the winds died down, beautiful weather. There's that weakening system on Saturday. There's a stronger system coming in on Sunday. So Sunday, some heavier rainfall, some heavier snow in the mountains. And then we kind of see this weak system come in late in the day Monday, impacts our weather Tuesday, and then by Wednesday, it's out of here. And there's that ridge of high pressure I was talking about kind of building in. Warmer temperatures, more sunshine. In fact, we look at the Climate Prediction Center, looking at your precipitation outlook. There it is below normal. We're kind of in the lighter shades here, so slimmer chance of being below normal. And keep in mind, we do have that rain in the forecast as we go into the weekend and as we go into early next week. In fact, we look at the forecast rainfall totals for that 4-day period. It's still not a bad amount of rain that's in the forecast. Now, it might be overdoing it, but I think we could see upwards of a ½ inch to an inch, possibly in the valley, for that 4-day stretch of rain, off and on rain, and a bit more than that for the coast. We take a look at those wave heights, taking you into Thursday. Shouldn't be that bad, but you can see that they will probably start to increase a little bit. And then with Saturday's approaching system, those waves will probably increase even more. So looking at your marine forecast, there you can see there is a small craft advisory through the afternoon with those north winds, about 15 to 25 knots. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures along the Highway 299 corridor. You can see low 50s. Now you'll notice I've got the sunny skies in there because there are many areas will see the sunny skies, especially if you're kind of outside of that valley. But I think, and it'll be interesting, like I said, to see what happens with that fog this morning that we're seeing in a lot of those inland valleys and mountain valleys. Because again, if we don't get enough wind to scour it out, the sun may not be enough to filter out and kind of burn off some of that fog. We'll see. But, you know, don't be surprised if you're seeing fog this morning and it either takes a long time for it to burn off or it just doesn't burn off at all. It'd be interesting. All right, take you to the south. There you can see Ruth about 46 for Forest Glen, 43 for Wildwood, and High and Palm about 49 degrees. Let's take you out to the North Coast neighborhood forecast. Could see some of that patchy fog for some of those inland valleys as well, by the way. 53 degrees for Miranda, 55 for Redway, 55 out in Garberville. We take you up north. Those low 50s out towards Ferndale, Fortuna, Hydesville, and Rio Dell. Off and on showers this weekend into early next week. There's your North Coast neighborhood forecast heading up north. Trinidad about 52 degrees. I think we'll get to see some sunshine along the coast today. Should be a gorgeous day. A little breezy, but not too bad. 53 out in Crescent City, 56 in Smith River, and there you can see Oric about 52 degrees. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Highway 96 corridor there. Temperatures upper 40s to low 50s. A little bit cooler as we get onto I-5 here. Those temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. And of course, we look at that 7-day forecast for Wairika. Off and on showers starting by Saturday. And not to mention going into your Sunday as well. As we take you out to Scott Valley, temperatures a little on the chilly side there. Callahan about 45, 41 out in Fort Jones, 44 for Greenview, and not to mention out in Etna. We take you out to the central and eastern portions of Siskiyou County where it's typically cooler, especially kind of these higher elevations up to the north and east in the low 40s, but mid 40s as we head out towards places like Mount Shasta, McLeod, Weed about 43. Here's your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, and yeah, pretty chilly up there. Temperatures upper 30s to low 40s. Some of the chillier spots will be in Cedarville at about 36. There's Fort Bidwell, about 37 degrees. And of course, off and on chances for showers. Snow levels around 4,000 feet, that is. Here's your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. And we're looking at about 49 degrees for Montgomery Creek, 56 in Paynes Creek. There's Fall River Mills, 43, 42 degrees out in Beaver. And we take it to the south. Lake Almanor in Lassen Park. Of course, what we're seeing here is temperatures in the 40s, but of course colder at the park, and that's pretty typical. As we take you to the south, out towards Paradise, of course Susanville, looking at your 7-day forecast there. And you can see, of course, those temperatures are going to be in the 50s. A little bit warmer, though, as we go into your Friday. But in the 50s as we take you into your weekend. In Susanville, obviously a bit cooler, temperatures mainly in the upper 40s, but it's warming up a little bit here by the middle of next week. Back up to about 51 degrees by next Wednesday. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast, and there you can see to the south here, Gridley about 62, 63 degrees for Oroville. 62 out in Red Bluff. Looks like Pasquenta about 60 degrees and Elk Creek about 61. All right, let's take you up to the north. There you can see about 53 degrees in Lakehead, 56 in Whiskeytown, Cottonwood about 61, and Palisadro 60 degrees. That north wind at about 16 miles per hour, but probably looking at some higher gusts. There's a look at your 7-day forecast for Redding. Temperatures are increasing today and tomorrow in particular, but we're back in the 50s with a chance for showers. Need to set those clocks forward 1 hour. Daylight saving time. That's that time of the year, isn't it? But it's not spring yet. But we use the reference spring forward to make it easier to remember to spring forward as we get closer to spring. And of course, got the showers off and on as we go through Tuesday, Monday, basically Saturday through Tuesday, and then we dry things out. And look at that big increase in the temperatures from Tuesday to Wednesday. Should be in the mid-60s by Wednesday. There you go. Kind of interesting forecast, right? I mean, a little bit of everything. I think it's going to please everyone to some extent. And I think some people are going to enjoy seeing some more rain. I think some people are going to enjoy seeing the dry weather that we have for today and tomorrow. I think some people will enjoy to see the dry weather. Although I saw a lot of those people commenting about the warmer weather by the end of next week, saying, yuck, too early for the warmer weather. Depends on who you are, right? I guess it just depends on who you are. Yeah, they do every year they do the Honeybee Festival. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they participate in that. We had a downpour here in by Lowe's in Redding about 11 p.m. last night. Ooh, quite a surprise. Quite a surprise. I said there was a chance for rain. I'm just kidding. It's always a surprise sometimes. If we could get the rain to only come during the work week, that would be great. Weekends are for sunshine. Good morning from chilly Lower Shingletown. Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, I agree. Wouldn't it be nice? If we just get all the rain we need during the week, and then on weekends when we're off, we can enjoy the beautiful weather. That'd be nice. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it. Oh, I was going to maybe take this opportunity to see if you all are interested. I'm going to see if I can get this set up. It shouldn't take me too long. But I wanted to kind of show you some features of the app. Let's see if we can get this started. There we go, start the broadcast. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get things kind of set up for you. Because I want to show you some stuff with the app. This I just kind of learned how to get the app here on my screen. So here's what we do. There it is. I'm going to get it started here with this. Give me a second here. All right. So let's get that started. We're going to go ahead and throw that on there. Oops, that unfortunately takes the clock sponsorship off. I apologize for that. Oh, shoot, that screws everything up with the clock. Well, we're kind of wrapping things up with the show anyway, so I'll have to figure that out later. But let's put the clock back on and get this going. All right. So I can actually stand up at the green screen, and I can kind of point to stuff too. So there you can see, this is, of course, looking at the app here. So there's the app. That's what it looks like. We go ahead and push start. Now, one thing that's happened, and I'm going to do this real quickly here. I'm going to actually get out of it completely, and then we'll kind of get that started again. There is a little bug that I actually just emailed before the show to the developers over the app, because they're based out of Huntsville, Alabama. So what you'll notice is it says Huntsville, Alabama is the current location. We're not in Huntsville, at least last I checked. But the conditions that we're seeing here, this is all the information that you have set for your location, whether you're in Redding or Chico or on the coast. This information here, if you have it set for that, it will be there. But look what happens. I'm going to tap on it. You just tap on that for all the conditions, by the way. And then you see how now it says Redding. And then, by the way, this right here, if you tap this, that'll always take you back to the home page, and you can get all the stuff that you need right there. Okay, so now it says Redding. So again, this is a bug that hopefully they're working on here soon, so we don't have to look at Huntsville as a possible location. So just bear in mind that that is being worked on, is being looked at, and should hopefully be fixed soon. But let's take a look at the app here real quickly. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time and go into too much detail, but I want to show you this. And this is something that will probably be changing and morphing and developing, because I can change the way all the boxes go. But you start at the top. There's your current location. Here's your current conditions. So sunny sky or clear skies, it's actually sunny now, yeah, because the sun is out. So yeah, if it was dark, it would be a moon, but it's sunny. It's getting that time of the year. The sun's coming out sooner. 47 degrees out at the Reading Airport. And then of course, we've got, there's that chance for rain coming in on Saturday. So what you want to do, if you want to get more detail on that, you're like, oh, I want to see beyond Saturday. All right, perfect, no problem. Now you click on that. Uh-oh, did I lose my, oh, there we go. It looks like I may have lost, all right, so there you go. So you can see, you have these tabs up top. So here's the overview. I'm tapping the overview there, and that gives you hourly forecast, 8, 9, and 10. So just a quick overview there. And if you look over here, it looks like you can kind of scroll here for the 7-day forecast. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then of course you scroll up, and it shows the low temperatures down here. Right, there's the low temperatures in the kind of the nighttime sky, daytime sky, and those daytime highs. So you can take a look at the 7-day forecast there. Now, you can also go just to the currents, and that'll give you all the pertinent information. Temperature, humidity, cloud cover, visibility, dew point, pressure, all that stuff. Sunrise, sunset, that's all good information, right? Then there's another tab. You can go to hourly. You tap hourly. There's your hourly forecast. It takes you out till, right now, till 9 a.m. tomorrow. Then you can get the daily forecast. That's basically your 7-day forecast. And you tap on each one. It'll kind of give you some specifics about all the stuff. And then, of course, it'll take you right to the radar if you want it. Let's take you back home. I tapped home. I tapped that. Okay. So, again, that was just kind of showing you there. So this, if you look right here, I'm showing you this right here is the latest forecast. So if you tap on this, check this out. There it is. There's my latest forecast. For some reason, it's kind of a little bit of a delay, but that's not a problem. Mine is fine here on the phone. It won't be that delay. But this is cool. Now you go over here, it says there's your... So here's the cool part. You don't have to sift through, is this the morning one? Is it the noon one? Is this yesterday evenings? This will always be the latest update that I have downloaded or uploaded to YouTube. Okay? This is going to be always the one that's the latest. So we tap on it.
From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
I think I might even be playing it. And then what you want to do...
Kent's Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Right there. So that's important. Well, good morning, everyone. Well deserved. We are getting a break from the wet weather
so there you
to cooler
go.
weather. So it's, and just kind of show you.
These are quieting down.
Now it's going to be a little breezy out there, especially for the valley. But everyone else,
tap it.
the wind's not that bad.
When you
mainly
tap
sunny
it,
skies,
to get out of
and
there.
we're
So
talking
I'm gonna
about
tap it
warmer
again.
temperatures too. I'm going to get out of there, and now here. Now I'm like, okay, now how to get back to the home page? No problem. Piece of cake. There it is. That's your home page. That's how you get back to the home page. Boom. There you go. Neighborhoods. This is really cool. You get all your neighborhood forecasts right in here. You tap any of your neighborhoods. You get all the neighborhoods in here. You scroll down, right? Let's go to the North Coast. There it is. Takes you to the home page. Takes you to the web page. You got your hourly forecast. These are updated every hour. This is updated every day, twice, 3 times a day. Of course, it's showing you the latest forecast. You've got the 7-day forecast. All of your neighborhoods are in there. Now, you can't go, you have to go back to the home page, and then you'll have, if you want to go to a different neighborhood, you go back to the neighborhoods, and there you go. But I love this. This is something that I don't think many of you probably have known about, but the neighborhood forecast, great resource. Especially if you're going somewhere, or if you live in that neighborhood, you can get a specific forecast for your location. Of course, there's our major sponsor, Crown Motors. Thanks to them for, without them, we wouldn't be able to get started. And they were a big part of that. 24-hour streaming channel. There's your ag report. Let's see if the latest ag report came down. Tapped on the ag report, by the way. So you just take this, tap it, boom, right there. Now it's taking you to the ag page. So you can say, see this? You scroll down, it says click here to watch NorCal Ag. Tap it. Looks like it hasn't updated yet. It should have. Oh, I have to. Oh, I thought I did. Well, anyway, the B report will be on there, but this is, of course, Peak Ellington, or excuse me, Ellington Peak. Legend, I already messed up his name. But yeah, that will be updated for you here soon, as soon as I get done with Coffee with Krueger. We're back home. Caltrans cameras. I love this. This is really cool, too. So if you're out and about and you want to know what the cameras look like, this is so cool. I love this. because what I've done, you keep just scrolling down. You can, of course, from here, you can tap this right here, and that'll give you the chain requirements. It'll get you to the web page there. It'll get you to Caltrans Quick Map. But look at this. What I've done is I've taken a lot of the cameras at a quick glance for all the different highways in the area, and all you do is just keep, and these are all live. These are all coming, the latest images coming down. So you can see all of the images for all of the cameras. Just keep scrolling down, and there you go. This right here is a great resource because it's right there on your phone. It's a nice little slideshow that I put together on the website that's perfect, I think, for everybody. Latest alerts, fires, we'll get into that, of course, in the fire season. And this right here, remember I've always said scroll to the bottom, submit your photos right here. Take a picture or send a picture from my camera roll. Typically you have a picture in your camera roll, right? So you can see some of the images. There's my wife and I on date night. I was at Aiden's doing track this year for Shasta High. So of course we were, I was taking pictures of all the different information that I need. There was the pet of the week, which got adopted. But anyway, it's really easy. So let's do the photo of my wife and I. So I'm just going to tap that. So I pick that picture, right? You go, oh, here's the picture. So I say, yep, I want to use this photo. So see where it says use this photo? Tap that. Now, this is the important part. I want you to go into the description and write wife date night. Okay? And then if you happen to have location, Reading. Okay? And then, of course, if you happen to have the elevation. I think the elevation where we were was about 500 feet. Now, the only reason I say elevation is if like there's snow or something that's relevant. If we don't need to know the elevation, it's not that important. But if you're talking about snow in particular, it's always good to put that. All right, so we've done that. We're done. Okay? So we can just kind of tap anywhere on the screen. So you can tap on the black box here. Tap anywhere in the black box. It'll give you the keyboard. If you tap outside the black box, now the keyboard's gone. So there you can see, there's all the information. Now you have my email. Please don't. And then all you do, submit. Content submitted. Okay. And now we're done. And the cool thing is I can go to my computer, weather computer, and it'll be in there. All right, so that's kind of a quick, broad overlook at the camera. So let's get out of here. Let's see here. Let's get that out of there. And then what I'm going to do is, well, yeah, I feel bad because the clock for Wind River has been broken now because I did that. But that's something I can kind of, play around with later. So sorry, Wind River. I'll put Wind River there, and then there's the clock. But anyway, we're kind of wrapping things up anyway. Here, let's get to there. I think what I can do, actually, there's the clock. I think I can, let me do this. 1 and 2. No. That would be wrong. There's that. Where's the clock? Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, Wind River clock. There we go. Oh, there's the clock. There we go. I fixed it. Okay. After how many, you got to see me just kind of scratch my head. So let's see if there's any other comments before we kind of wrap things up here for today. Ready for the warmer weather. Do you think the rain Monday will be light? I will be coming home. Yes, you should be fine. I'm not worried about chain requirements. You may run into a little bit of snow, some of those higher passes, say Anderson Summit, Anderson Grade, for example, but shouldn't be a big problem. I'm not concerned about Monday. Shouldn't be a big deal. Yes, and of course the dog did get adopted, so that was great. So that's going to do it for now, folks. What I'm planning on doing, of course, I showed you just kind of a little teaser of what the app can do. I am planning on, in the weeks to come, of putting together some tutorial videos on how to use the app better, because this really here is a phenomenal resource, and if you know how to use it properly, then you're going to get the best experience out of it. And I'll also plan on doing some tutorial videos on the website as well. But yeah, that's kind of how that works. So that is going to do it for now, folks. I'm going to leave you with some different cameras here. Let's start with Let's start with Oroville, because that is where we've seen a lot of the fog, and it's still pretty foggy out there. So stay safe out there if you do get yourself caught in any fog, especially those mountain inland valleys. We're going to be looking at that dense fog this morning as well. Of course, there's fog in parts of the valley, in particular around Oroville and around the Gridley area as well, especially when you're dealing with those calmer winds. You'll be dealing with that fog out there. So stay safe out there, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger.